So, honestly,
Mm.
well, it's one thing because I was basically drop dead tired when I wrote the recap. But all it says is that the party reunited at the Arkwing. The party then proceeded to torture an innocent man. And the parley really only dicked around.
Yeah, no, that's about correct. That just about covers it. Also, George made $500, so there's that.
A lot of people made a lot of money.
You can add that. They beat up an innocent man for money.
Woo! Isn't that what we do anyways?
Well, normally they're not innocent.
I guess that's true.
Vincent is sort of innocent. He was a dick, but he probably didn't deserve this.
The only real thing of note is that George had interactions with Simon, who is probably one of the oldest engineers on the Arkwing, and gave him the shock claw.
Yeah. Also, Simon seems to like George. And George, I will say, like Simon.
And George now has a face.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess he does have a face.
The only expression Nancy has so far seen George make is joy at being given a weapon of mass destruction.
It's not a weapon of mass destruction, Michael.
It's a weapon of mass destruction.
It's not the penetrator.
Sweetie, coming for the booty. Anyway.
Nancy turns to Vlad. Hide your booty.
Vlad's knocked out. He's not in the room.
That's true.
Oh no, the poor innocent child. I must go protect him.
You know, I think I would feel safer if George was protecting Vlad.
But George is the... Never mind.
I will say, so we have officially begun.
Yeah.
All right. George is going to look at Nancy and Lucas whilst he is still marveling at his amazing new claw weapons. All right. So we should be getting ready to head off and get that fuel. I'm gonna go get the kid. We'll meet you on the helicarrier deck. And George saunters off toward the elevator.
All right.
Nancy turns to Lucas. So that's why he gave me his gun. To empty out his inventory for those things.
George did not know he would be receiving these, but he gave you the gun.
Nancy doesn't know this.
Maybe, Nancy. You can get a hold of your own fancy weapon. And maybe you'll be able to use it on people who deserve it, and use those stim packs on people who really need them.
Right. I'll do that now. Nancy gives the stim pack to Vincent.
Actually, yes. Please do stim pack Vincent. He's probably not doing so great.
He is probably on death's door.
John? How many stim packs do you think he needs? Just one, or?
You'll probably only need one to stabilize.
Yeah, we're not trying to bring him back to full. Yeah, we're not trying to bring him back to full health. Just make sure he doesn't, die of internal hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, and I'll take the stim pack out of her inventory. After she stim packs him, she's gonna roll perception to see if there's any other injuries she might want to be aware of that could pose as fatal later on.
On him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nat 20. Holy shit. Okay.
Okay. Where are you administering the stim pack?
As a medic, what would be the most ideal spot?
I guess the chest.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna say she goes for the arm.
Okay.
Stab him in the arm. He begins bleeding profusely.
When
Oh
you
my
do
God.
administer the stim pack to his arm, you do notice that because he is lying like flat on his face, that part of his uniform is all like wrinkled and everything, and the back of his shirt is kind of like lifted up. There is a
Oh.
humongous scar on his back.
Huh.
Like,
The
to describe the scar better would be if you didn't know any better, that scar in and of itself should have killed him. How he's alive now, you have no idea. Based on your medical expertise alone, like if that was an open wound at one point and bleeding, he should be dead.
So if that's the case, does it look like was this scar from? No, this couldn't have been from George, right?
John, since I mentioned to Nancy to use the stim packs on the people who need them, am I still would you say I'm still in the room? Like
You're still in the room, yeah.
Can I walk over to see her inspecting him?
You're not allowed to. No, go ahead.
I'd say based on like her reaction to seeing the scar, it would intrigue you enough to walk over.
Okay.
For the record, Charles is still taking and divvying out bets.
That's fine.
Wait, why is he still taking bets? What are they betting on now? Whether George will do it a third time? Because if so, somebody better let George know.
He's just taking the money that people owe.
Okay. He's really hoping they would start a betting pool for a third punch.
Yeah. John.
Mm-hmm.
So to what I'm understanding as a player, is this scar is an old scar that has heat?
Yeah, it is a pretty old scar.
Okay. So is the scar from like a death claw or anything of that nature? By looking at it, can I guesstimate that?
From looking at it, you can interpret that it was from a massive claw or tooth or blade or something. Something big and something sharp. Essentially just tore his back open.
Damn. Nancy's gonna turn to Lucas and just ask, do you know what could have made this?
John, you want me to roll intelligence to see if I have any idea?
The scar is so old and so really weirdly healed. Like it's not. Again, you can discern that it's a scar. You can't really make out what did it. You can guess.
Is he conscious?
Nope.
Are you implying that my punches are not effective?
He got stim. That's why I asked.
He only got one stim, enough to stabilize him.
Okay.
Should I give him a second one?
All right. Lucas, after kind of looking at it himself, just kind of stands up, looks to Nancy. You stimmed him. He'll come to eventually.
Alrighty.
Let's go
Nancy
catch him.
looks around for someone who might be able to take him to a bed. Sorry, what did Matt say?
No, all I said is let's catch up with George when you're ready.
First, shouldn't we get this guy to a bed or something? He probably should just stay here.
No. I repeat that. You're staying there?
Jesus Christ. Nancy, just pick him up and start walking.
Okay. Can Nancy pick him up, John?
Well, roll a strength check.
Why do I feel...
He is portly.
Natural 19.
He is portly.
I'm doing good.
You were either going to drag him or carry him, but
I'm going to carry that guy.
you're able to carry him wherever you so desire.
Let's take this guy to the sleeping unit, or what have you call it.
The bed?
You mean
Yeah.
the barracks?
Yeah.
Okay. Have fun carrying him.
Thank you, gentlemen. If you could please just get the doors for me. Oh, wait, are the doors automatic?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, never mind. I'll meet you gentlemen at, where were we supposed to meet, George?
The carrier deck.
Yeah, I'll meet you guys at the carrier deck.
Sounds good.
All right.
Lucas heads up to the flight deck.
Okay. After a brief moment of divvying out and taking, Charles is following behind.
Going to kind of... Luke, I'm going to ask Charles, do you mind if we take the stairs and let Nancy take the elevator to the barracks?
Charles looks over at you with a smile. I got a lot of counting to do. You
Good.
take the stairs.
Good, because I want to be away from getting shot for a second. When we get into the stairwell, John, is there anyone walking around in the stairs, like, near us?
For right now, no. Most people are at their posts.
All right. I'm gonna look to Charles. Hey, so how much did it get handed out back there?
Charles gives you a sideways glance and kind of tries to hide the pouch that he's holding. No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no idea what. Really? That's so.
Yeah, that's so.
All right. It's a shame some of that money could have gone towards upgrading your pistol.
Shame that.
Anyways, let's get to the flight deck. You can continue counting the additional wages you earned back there.
I'm not saying I did, but I will keep counting.
Okay.
So you're just going to keep on walking then?
Yep.
Alright. So, Nancy, you're just trying to take him to the barracks and just lay him in a bed?
Yep. One that's not labeled and looks like it will go undisturbed.
Okay. Once you do get to the barracks, you gotta have a little bit of a walk to find one, but you find one nonetheless.
Sweet. Nancy puts them down gently and then promptly stretches and oof. Oh God. Okay. I got my exercise for the day. Then she starts, is Vlad still in the bed with Truffles?
Did George go to get Vlad?
I thought so.
George?
Hmm?
Did you go to get Vlad?
Yes, he did. George is going to retrieve Vlad.
All right, cool. So Nancy's gonna go over to George and Vlad when she sees them.
Yeah.
And Truffles to
Yeah, you
reunite with the puppers.
And you definitely know where Vlad was, because you were sleeping on the same bunk.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's rewind time a few moments.
Mm-hmm.
George, You have just gone into the elevator. You know that Vlad is in the barracks, so you're going straight for him.
Yep.
When you get to Vlad, he is curled up in a ball on the bed, and Truffles is curled up in a ball next to him.
No.
Say George kind of pets Truffles and then tries to sort of shake Vlad awake gently.
Wake up, Vlad!
Exactly.
You're just smacking him over and over.
He's just not moving.
We see that George's violence vest has yet to simmer.
You try to punch him awake, you hear a snap.
Timothy just happens to see this.
Yeah.
What'd you do to my boy? Now I'm gonna give you to the count of 3 before I kill you.
George, before he finishes that sentence, you just hear a metal, like, crushing noise. You look over, there's just a George-shaped hole in the hull.
He would chase that.
I made a mistake.
Oh, George knows. That's why he's going to the ocean.
I'm going to go kill myself properly.
He'll still come after you. You ain't stopping him.
Running is futile.
George swims to, like, Maine. He stops. It's like, okay, we're safe. He turns around.
Timothy is like 10 feet behind him.
He sees Timothy as, like, a super mutant behemoth. Just,
Ow.
Just, and as he punches him, you just hear, like, a squeaky toy noise. George just gone.
Oh, that's perfect.
Right, so you're just gonna shake Vlad awake?
Yep, jet lag.
Gently.
Alright, so you do, fairly gently shake Vlad, and he does stir a little, open his eyes, and look at you. Doesn't say anything, he just looks at you.
Okay. Before you panic, it's me, George.
I know who you are.
So you didn't fall asleep the instant I looked away from you. You ready to hit the road, kid?
Can I just stay in the bed?
George ponders. No.
Vlad sighs and goes to stand up. Truffles wakes up as well.
Mm.
At Vlad's stirring.
Mm.
And at this moment, Nancy passes by, carrying an unconscious Vincent.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
I miss anything?
No. Hey, Vlad.
Vlad is just staring confused. Specifically at the body of Vincent.
Surge. Just ask it.
George. Looks at Vlad. I got paid $500 to punch him in the face.
Why?
I didn't know we were doing that now.
Why?
Is it bigot and an asshole?
Vlad
From
just starts
afar,
walking
Nancy
away.
just shouts, "Welcome to the wasteland!"
I'll give you some of the money.
Vlad is walking away.
Vlad, do you know where you're going?
He's still walking.
Vlad, okay. You follow him.
George is following.
What's Nancy doing?
Nancy settling this guy down as she's yelling at them.
Okay. Once you set him
And
down,
then she's gonna call over Truffles. Her baby. Her precious child.
Greetings, mother.
Truffles is going to bless Vincent in his slumber.
Yep.
It's his gift.
And nos hablas tenemos. Okay. May leave. My work is done.
Nancy pets Truffles and then encourages him to follow her to the crap. What is it called again, George? Sorry.
The flight deck.
Flight deck.
I keep calling it different things, but they all have the same meaning.
Yeah, we all know where she's going.
you don't.
Not important.
It's slightly important if you want to tell me where she's going.
Where Lucas and freaking Charles are.
Alright.
Or at least where they're headed.
She activates her handy dandy Lucas tracker.
Doesn't exist.
You see, you think that.
Charles sells them for cheap.
Medic's gotta make some money in this wasteland.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, this is the gambling was only a side business.
So, after a brief moment of George kept catching up to Vlad and pointing him in the right direction, after a moment, everyone does reconvene at the flight deck, as it were. So everyone's all together. Charles, Vlad, Nancy, Lucas Charles, Truffles.
Mm. May he be praised.
So,
Jewelry be the job in the high jest.
Uh-huh.
what's the game plan?
Well, we need to start getting tankers.
Yep.
We need to take 4 vertibirds and get 2 tankers. Start filling up the arc wing.
Yeah.
Did we still
George-
need permission to do that?
No, Lucas and Vlad were given permission.
Oh, they were? Okay.
More Lucas and Charles, let's be honest.
Yeah. Vlad's like, I'm gonna drive.
No!
Don't.
The vertibirds are already set and ready for flight. That's why I was working on all day before we went down to the armory.
Right. So, is there anything I can do?
Get ready.
Um,
We're heading out. We're heading out.
George.
right.
George calls out to Nancy, get in the freaking bird!
Ah, okay.
Go with Bucket.
So who's going
Or
with
is
who?
I'm going with Charles. Is Vlad actually with us? I didn't even catch that. Or is he staying in his bed?
No, he's there.
He's here?
Yeah.
Just
Alright.
say George noogies Vlad and pulls him down the vertebrate.
As Vlad and George walk over to the vertebrate, Lucas kind of whispers to Charles, I don't trust him with them.
George wants to roll perception to see if he can hear that.
Nope.
I am whispering.
Aww.
Like I'm whispering it.
You're also 2 vertibird lengths apart.
Sadness.
I'm gonna say Nancy gets in the vertebrate with George and Vlad.
Me and Charles get in another vertibird.
Alright.
Ah, young love.
Truffles is, I assume, with Nancy.
Yes.
Okay.
Truffles gets its own vertebrate.
He's the pilot, obviously.
I was gonna say, just look over. There's a Truffle sitting in the driver's seat, and there's an inconspicuous blood stain on the windshield.
He just barks.
Yep.
Nancy goes, "Good boy."
You just see blood pooling beneath the bird.
All right. So, both pilots relatively say, like, where are we headed?
Well, I'm assuming I was made aware of where this oil refinery place is, correct?
You have a general idea because it's marked on the map.
Yeah. So I point that out and I ask him to radio over to the other birds the coordinates that we're going to.
Specifically, when we open the map,
You're going south-north.
it's to the left of the. Actually, it's to the right of the New Ghoul Alliance. You can mark. It's the bottom dot on the New Ghoul Alliance.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say George does kind of pop up to his pilot. Hey, mind if I send a transmission to the other pilots real quick?
The pilot looks over to you confused. What do you want?
Well, just wanted to remind everybody, in case people didn't remember, apparently the first team that went to this radiation pit didn't come back. So maybe, be attentive.
I was not made aware of that.
That's why George is now making an effort to make people aware of it. Because he does not trust that Timothy told anyone other than him.
Well, you're not going to the radiation pit.
Not immediately. We're getting the tankers to go to the radiation.
All right. So, Lucas, over the radio, you do hear George tell you that the last team that went to the radiation pit just never came back, never checked in.
Lucas immediately looks at Charles and just kind of makes that motion with your head where you slightly nod it forward and to the side. It just kind of gives him a smirk. Violence. That's what I hear.
Say
Charles
after
sighs
George.
and looks to the ground. Yeah, that's all I hear.
Nah, we'll be all right.
I say after sending his transmission, George just kind of settles in the vert bird. He's kind of staring at the window.
Okay. Nancy, what are you doing?
Probably petting Truffles,
Okay.
telling him he's a good boy, and then
Bark.
turning to Vlad. So, how you doing, bro?
I'm tired.
I mean, you can take a nap until we get there.
You see, I don't know if we're gonna survive. I kind of want to be awake if I die.
George starts to say something, then decides not to bother. He lifts up one finger and is like, eh.
I have faith we'll be okay. And Nancy just kind of says that, in the second it comes out of her mouth, she realizes how stupid it sounded.
I was gonna say,
Sorta.
that did not sound genuine at all.
She's trying to be positive, but it really hurts. Because she knows it's really not true.
Vlad just shivers a little.
At least we'll die together. I'm not making this any better.
George
you're
looks
good at pep talks.
George looks at both of them. Do you know how many times we have faced near certain death already?
Vlad looks over to George. Do you know how many times I wanted to face certain death?
You never do, kid. You never do. But eventually, you become so desensitized to the constant threat of death.
Don't you think after a while you kind of push your luck?
George looks at Nancy. Nancy.
That was a genuine question.
Look deeply into my eyes.
I really don't want to. You're kind of sinister.
Like, after all these years, nothing quite brings me as much joy as surviving near death. The only thing that brings me more joy is chocolate cocoa. I can't eat hot cocoa. Yeah, drink.
I didn't know you could eat cocoa, Joy.
I mean, I can't. I've tried.
The vertebrates have started to take off.
Here we go again. This is the second time I've been at a vertebrate today.
Is it the same day?
No.
No, but it's been in the same span of 24 hours.
Yeah. Like how George is just acknowledging the player conversation. Yeah.
George can break all the fourth walls.
Is Lucas having any conversation with Charles? Take that as a maybe. Maybe
Please?
John?
not. No, I'm dying.
Ah, good. You are dying.
Do I have to get a necromancer?
Yeah.
Maybe. Isn't John the necromancer?
I have other necromancer friends. Do you assume that there is the necromancer, but there are many?
They're dead.
Good. So yeah, how does Vlad respond to George's claw?
Well, you see, I haven't heard a thing you said.
Oh. What was you last heard?
Well, yeah, what I last heard was a solid nothing.
Yeah, good. George just playing with his claws as he stares out the window.
Oh, just pulling them out and retracting them.
Yep.
And then Nancy goes, can you, George, no, please.
George, yes!
Lucas is not there. Also, yeah, so how does Vlad respond to seeing George with horrifying electrified claws?
Well, for one, he doesn't know they're electrified.
Ah.
Because they don't exactly give off an electric, like, they're not like charged with electricity. It's just if you touch something with it, it'll feel that it's electric.
Okay.
On that note, Vlad's eyes go wide, and he goes, "Oh, cool!" And he goes out to touch them.
Don't touch them! George actively pulls the claws back in.
Vlad recoils a little.
I will show them to you, but do not touch them. They are electrified.
What do you mean?
Oh, no, Vlad.
The kind gentleman who built these for me also included stun batons in them. George kind of looks up somehow. Honestly, not sure how. So yes, if you or well anyone else touches the claws, they get a nice, fun electric shock.
Vlad narrows his eyes. I don't believe you.
George sighs. Vlad?
Please don't shock him.
George looks at Nancy. No. First and foremost, I would not be the one shocking him.
Please don't shock me.
Vlad.
You have punched me. You can't blame me for thinking you might do that.
Vlad, I'm going to reiterate this again. The claws are electrified. You are actively choosing not to believe this.
Well, they look like bones.
Warning, things are not always as they appear.
George looks at Vlad again. I'm not letting you touch them. Don't get me wrong. It would be hilarious. But I care about your health and safety too much.
Aww.
Vlad looks over to the pilot and just looks like he's thinking.
I swear to God, kid, if you try to touch these claws.
Vlad looks back to George as if he's been caught.
George thinks for a minute. And he makes sure that all the vertebrate doors are closed. Are they closed?
They're closed.
Okay. He's let the claws out, and he holds them in front of his face. Vlad, I'm going to say this one more time. These are electrified. If you touch them, it will hurt. If you insist on clarifying that they are electrified, I will let you touch it.
Vlad grabs hold of one.
God
Oh,
damn it.
Jesus Christ, George!
The moment Vlad touches it, George is going to attempt to retract them to minimize the damage.
Okay. George.
Mm-hmm.
You, my friend, get to roll 2d20.
Wait, he only just touched it.
He's not getting cut.
No. He's still actively, grabbing onto it.
That is a 5 and a 10.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So, the second Vlad grabs onto the shock claw, he starts twitching and screaming.
Damn it.
And as you retract the claw, he falls to the ground and just starts trying to... the best way to describe it is he's trying to rub the feeling away.
Is there anything Nancy can do to help this poor boy?
I'm gonna say George hands Nancy a stim pack.
Oh, does that even help with this kind of stuff, though?
I mean, he took damage, to my understanding.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then Nancy can use it. Nancy, as soon as she can, uses a stim pack
Okay.
and injects it into his arm.
Okay. As
So
soon as you
that's
administer
two
the
stim
stim pack,
packs in one day because of George's shenanigans.
This was entirely Vlad's fault.
This is Vlad's fault. This had nothing to do with George. George tried to stop him.
But George knew, one way or another, this was going to happen.
So, as soon as Nancy administers the stim pack to Vlad's arm, he jumps up, looks excitedly at George. My arm fell asleep!
Good.
He looks very happily at the claws. I want to do it again!
Nancy pins Vlad to the chair. You will not touch those things unless you want to go into, oh god, there's a medical term for it, but electric shock.
George looks at Vlad. All right, kid. How about this? Leave the claws alone for now. And you can play with them all you want when we get back. Hell, I'll let you use them.
Don't promise him that.
Vlad looks over to George, smiles happily. Promise?
I promise.
George, no!
Lucas just might have to kill someone.
Nancy's already plotting.
George looks very sternly at Vlad. You will use them with my supervision in a controlled environment.
Like what just happened?
George,
There was no control there.
Yep.
No, there wasn't. But again, George
And George's supervision doesn't really help.
Jesus Christ. George, you know what? George's expression shifts to a smile for a moment. Okay, how about this? You can do it with Timothy's supervision.
At that, Vlad frowns and looks down. Oh, he's not gonna let me.
They let me once.
I'm not dead.
Okay.
I'm fine.
You said let me, and then there was quiet.
Vlad looks down, sighs, and says, "Oh, he's not gonna let me."
Aww.
George looks sad.
Vlad, there will come a time when you are ready to use them, but that day is not today. But until then, you can prove your righteousness to your father and to your followers, because you are the supreme leader.
Supreme leader Vlad.
But until then, you must wait. But then, the waiting makes the heart grow fonder. Yes?
Nancy, are you feeling okay?
I'm gonna say even George looks at Nancy a little bit weird. It's like,
I just have a lot of feelings.
I'm gonna say George looks at Vlad again. But kid, maybe the claw's a little dangerous for now. That doesn't mean we can't get you a cool weapon. And then George looks at the quackshot. Technically, you already have a cool weapon.
Vlad smiles happily as he holds the quackshot up. He actively holds it up as if the barrel's pointing at George.
I'm gonna say George twitches ever so slightly, but he doesn't move.
Nancy gently pokes the barrel and moves it ever so gently out of the way.
It's like everyone has their cool weapons.
Vlad looks over to Nancy. Nancy, what's your cool weapon?
Actually, son.
It's a hand.
And she takes out the weapon that George gave her. This is as cool as I got so far, but it's still pretty cool.
George pats Nancy on the shoulder. Don't worry, I'm coming up with a plan to get you a cool weapon.
Yay!
Then he kind of leads in closer. Kinda help if you told me what you'd want, though. So think on them.
I don't know. What are my choices?
George releases the claws again, away from Vlad. Well,
I'm
get
not
something
interested in one of those.
George pulls them back in. All right.
That can be your job.
There
Does
are
Luke
options.
have a cool weapon?
I forget. What is your... I mean, his weapon at this point is pretty overpowered for what it is.
Whose?
Yours.
Like my modified pistol?
Yes. It's more effective than George's double mag.
You fucking point. I've put time and work into it. You just fucking bought the double mag.
George put time and work into what he has now.
Okay, and your shot gauntlets. Your your arc claws, I feel is a better name, are about as effective as my pistol is.
Meh. George does kind of look at the double mag. Don't worry, baby. I still love you.
Vlad looks confused.
I don't think I ever want to hear George say baby again.
George pauses as if he's thinking. You just quietly hear his exact statement replay, like, in his mind. You know, in hindsight, neither do I.
Neither do I.
Sounds so uncomfortable.
Nancy, what don't you want me to say again?
Potatoes.
But I love potatoes.
Potatoes are one of the only true goods in this world.
Fine, you can say potatoes.
Hey!
God forbid you say potato.
Yeah, I'll kill you.
We'll have to kill ya.
I'll find you.
Oh, God. Alright, I'm gonna say George just kind of sits next to Vlad and just kind of sort of leans back and is just staring at the ceiling.
What's Nancy doing?
She's turning to Vlad. You know, maybe, like I said when I first discovered you have the quack shot, I will actually get a moo shot.
George considers this. I don't know if that's a brilliant idea or a horrible idea.
Lucas would be Georging throughout this entire conversation.
We could be twinsies.
George sort of nods to himself.
What do you think, Vlad? Should I get a moo shot?
Vlad puts his hand to Nancy's forehead.
What are you doing?
This is what's known as diddling. It's not. Oh.
Vlad, why is your hand on my forehead?
You're acting really weird.
I thought I acted like this all the time.
And you do. But, like, you're more today.
Really? Nancy actually looks kind of surprised. How so?
Vlad pulls his hand away. I guess it's just me, as he scoots closer to George.
As Vlad does this, George laughs quietly.
Maybe George hit me too hard, and Nancy actually rubs him where she got punched.
George quietly under his breath says, "Soon I will corrupt you both."
Oh God. Nancy starts to piece together what's happening. I don't want your shit gun. Hands it back. See, it's infecting me with the George virus.
So, Lucas, what have you been doing?
Thank God
Fluff.
we're moving away.
Fluff.
Lucas has probably been checking over his gun, asking Charles if he needs help checking over his rifle, and maybe possible. Is that a noise that just got made?
No, not at all.
I really like to imagine that Lucas looks up and just sees James. He's like basically super glued to the ceiling.
John, was that actually a noise we just heard?
No.
Okay.
Got me soup.
It's like one day society gets rebuilt, and on a billboard You know how they have those got milk signs? It's just
Got
Jay
soup.
with got soup.
I might draw that.
Just draw buff Jesus in the style of got milk.
He has
got
to
it.
be like such
Don't
an
forget the
exaggerated
Death Claw
smile.
onesie. Do not
And
forget the Death Claw onesie.
And the soup stash.
He has to have like a Fu Manchu of noodles.
Wait, what kind of soup am I giving this guy?
Soup?
Soup is soup.
It's soup.
But there's so many varieties.
Cereal is
Doesn't know
soup.
that.
Cereal is just cold breakfast soup.
That's true. Actually.
Mm.
It's
Why
not
do
a
you
lie.
sound disappointed?
Unless you have oatmeal, in which case it's a breakfast stew.
Mm. He has a point. Kill him.
Wait, how does that change the definition? Never mind.
So,
Moving on.
all the while, Charles has been looking pretty much through his backpack and checking all of his meds to see if everything is still like in working condition. Checking his gun.
Yep.
So you're just preparing?
Yeah, just preparing.
Alright. See, that's how a normal vertebrate ride should go.
Like there's possibility of conflict. The soldiers are preparing for a fight.
The extras are not.
John,
Yes.
I will say at this point, Lucas has loaded a hollow point magazine into his pistol.
Okay. That is one of 10, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just keeping track of the hollow point rounds the same way I'm doing with the normal 9mm rounds.
Yeah. Just with different ammo types, be a little more vigilant.
I am.
I
So,
would like to announce that I have exactly 100 mudkips as of now.
Good.
Moving on. Sorry.
Kill them all.
oh, I will. Don't worry.
Good.
Mudkips for the Kip God.
So,
Sacrifice them.
after a few, it is a pretty short ride. It's only about like half an hour or so.
Mm.
Not even, maybe like 20 minutes. But after about 15 minutes or so, well, 18 minutes, you can see in the distance, like over the horizon, you can see the oil refinery. And it is a big oil refinery. It looks like the top, like where the smokestack would be, is completely blown off, as if like it exploded at one point. And the surrounding area is just scorched. Like the trees, rocks, grass, hell, even the dirt looks a little burnt. Like everything within like a 10-mile radius is like scorched.
Fun.
Yes.
John, can I roll perception to see if there's anything moving down there?
Yes, you can.
Can I say George is going to try and do that from his copter as well?
Sure.
I rolled a... I don't think I have a perception bonus. I do not. I rolled a natural 18.
16 natural, so 17.
Okay. From where you are, you can make out some pretty large shapes, like pretty large, pretty round shapes, walking around. As you're getting closer, before you can really get a good look at them, it looks as if they turn towards where the sound is coming from the vertebrate, and they just burrow underground.
Ooh.
George is going to, under his breath, just kind of go, "Oh, good, Mirelurks."
Lucas.
What?
Lucas kind of like is looking out the window still. He just kind of like says, not under his breath. It's like, crustaceans.
Sweet, buttery crustaceans.
Do we have any butter at the Archquake?
I like the fact Lucas and George's like statements are basically the same thing, except different voices.
But yeah, Lucas does ask that. He asks Charles, "You think we've got butter back at the Archquake?"
Charles shrugs. Well, it's a possibility.
Okay.
I don't really like Mirelurk meat, but you know.
I mean, it's lobster. It's essentially lobster crab, depending on what breed you're looking at. I think they've all just kind of melded into the same creature.
Gotta try everything once, I guess.
Does George know at least where one or two of them are specifically burrowed? Oh dear. What is this? What is this? I see. Marina, that is not what a Mirelurk looks like.
Wait, hold on.
Thank you for that, John.
John, you want me to find a picture of a Mirelurk, or
I have a picture.
Okay.
I just
How long did you have that saved for this moment, John?
don't worry.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So, during the landing sequence, because with George and Nancy and Vlad, I feel that this is going to take about 30 minutes. I'm going to run to the room real quick.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I forgot what his name is.
Who?
The lobster from SpongeBob.
Larry.
Larry.
Yeah.
I just avoided out Larry with the words legendary Mirelurk above it.
Legendary Mirelurk Larry.
Technically not incorrect.
I
will get you a photo of a Mirelurk.
Jesus Christ.
I really hate Mirelurks.
Just in general? Yeah, that is a Mirelurk brand.
Hold on 1 second.
One.
Come on. Oh. Tasty.
Perfection.
Kind of gives me a dark crystal vibe.
Honestly, yeah, I can see that.
Like
I
the
will
bad
say-
guys with the big bags.
I will say for the record, George is looking down with a mixture of disdain and almost fear.
Mudcrafts all over the Commonwealth. Like, you don't understand. They're everywhere. The term cockroach of the sea cannot be more true with these fucking things.
I will say, sorry, meaning crackers.
That is a good thing to say. Yeah. You got me.
Yeah. Oh my god, George can eat, and he has crackers. Why aren't you sharing with us? I'm gonna say George kind of shuffles over to the pilot. All right, so there are Mirelurks down there, so you may want to land a little ways away.
The pilot looks over to you, kind of leans forward to try and see out, like, downwards He sighs. All right, we'll be heading down then. It'll be a bit of a walk, but, well, I'm not risking the vertibird.
That's smart.
So, if everyone would appear over at the encounter sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
Boys.
I'm ready to fight some crabs. Some good buttery crabs.
I see.
Butter.
I see
Not
2
yet.
circles and a rectangle.
I see a circle. 3 triangles. Oh wait, no, there's triangles on the side and stuff.
The
Near
circles
the-
with the X's are the landing zones.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's where the vertibird will land.
Vertibird, singular?
Vertibird.
I probably should have asked this earlier, but Matt did kind of.
I wanted to bring 4 vertibirds.
And he did make the comment about radioing to the other pilots. So, do we only have the 2 vertibirds, John?
Happy.
Yes.
What happened?
There's 2 more landing zones.
Okay. Watch, he's gonna kill everyone now.
Suddenly, Mirelurk Queen erupts from the ground and destroys 2 of the vertibirds.
Yeah. George is very much concerned there is going to be a Mirelurk Queen. That is the reason George is afraid of Mirelurks.
Don't you worry about it.
Pour some sugar on me.
No. As you see,
Um,
it will very rapidly oxidize your frame and be very bad for you. As well as it will
yeah, you just got in your face and everything.
It will also absorb the any oil and lubricant inside your joints, making it very difficult and very rapid erosion of the joints and their ability to function properly.
You see, that's why George carries 7 gallons of lube at all times. Anyway.
So you can pour sugar on yourself, pour lube on yourself. This seems like a very toxic cycle.
Hey, flavored lube is a thing.
Yes, I know.
But do you?
So,
I mean,
as the
never
vertibirds
seen it, I
touch
just-
the ground, Marina, shut up.
Nah.
As the vertibirds touch the ground, the doors essentially just swing wide open, and you're able to leave, should you so desire.
Lucas is stepping out, weapon ready.
Same with George. I'm going to say George does have the double mag out.
Okay.
John, I'm assuming soft shell Mirelurks, the hollow points will be effective, but literally any of the other types, and they will literally have basically no additional effect.
Essentially, yeah.
All right. Well, knowing that there are Mirelurks, I'm gonna unload the hollow point mag and reload it with normal ammo.
Okay. So, everyone's just getting out, weapons ready?
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 triangles, those are where you last saw them. That's not where they're standing.
Now, George's knowledge of Mirelurks is that they can't really move around underground without being very noticeable. So George is assuming they're still there, they're just buried. Is that accurate in our version of the Fallout verse, John?
Could be.
Okay, that's not a fair statement. That's how it is in the Fallout games. George would know.
Things aren't exactly the same in this setup.
But if they weren't, okay.
John, can I roll to look for egg? Can I roll to see if I can spot any egg patches?
Yes, you can.
That is a natural 16.
In the immediate area, there doesn't appear to be any eggs. But this place does look pretty overgrown with different types of flora and vines.
Okay. Did you describe what this refinery looks like from where we are?
From where you're standing, it is just a gigantic like dome of a building with one large smokestack to the far left from where the party is standing.
Okay.
And to the right is a very large, very like square-looking entrance area.
Okay. All right.
So it's one big like superstructure.
Yeah. All right.
So yes, you can assume that they're still there, but you were also landing. You don't know if they moved.
Yeah.
True. George, in all of his wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Now, George, I'm gonna say George takes out a grenade and playfully tosses it in his hand. He's contemplating throwing it. I'm gonna say he kind of looks in George looks in George's direction. What do you think, George? I think it's a good idea, George. Alright. No, George looks in Lucas's direction while he's sort of tossing the grenade around and just kind of gives a thumbs up and then a thumbs down.
Just make sure you throw it far enough.
He's not within hearing distance.
You'd have to shout to be able to hear each other.
Oh, okay. Then Lucas kind of looks at him, looks back towards the miner, looks where they were, looks back to George, lowers his head, just lazily puts a thumbs up.
All right.
And he gets his pistol ready, and I'm gonna tap Charles on the shoulder. Have your rifle up.
Ooh, nice. George rolled. Zoom tight. George rolled a natural 19. Zoom tight again. So that's technically a critical.
I don't think grenades would have a critical.
Aww.
Grenades are space damage.
Darn it. Either way, George rolled a 19.
All right. You'd be able to throw it. Whoop. Put this. Anywhere within this circle.
Okay. So we can only hit like one?
If you do it in between, it might cause both of them to jump up.
Yeah, he can kind of do that. He is trying to do that.
Okay. He's going to try to hit both to make them both pop up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, George takes the grenade in his hand after he's essentially juggling it for a little bit. Looks over at Lucas, sees the thumbs up, gives a slight little smile, pulls the pin, hucks the grenade as far as he can. You hear the grenade tink, roll a little. A loud and big explosion, followed by two Mirelurks burrowing up as fast as they can. One is there, the other is there. So one was actively going closer to you, and the other was going away.
Good. Can George make another attack before actual combat starts?
Everyone can make one attack.
Okay.
All right. George is going to try and shoot the one closest.
Okay.
He has rolled an 18.
That's a hit.
I rolled a total 23.
That's a hit.
Can I hit the one that's running away?
Yeah.
Okay, rolling damage.
Yeah, George rolled a 14 for damage, so that's 14 plus that's 18.
I rolled a total of about 28 damage.
Okay.
Can Nancy fire?
Uh-huh.
30
All
damage.
right,
I didn't
I got
add
a
my
15.
weapon bonus.
And I'm aiming for the closest one as well.
Okay.
And then I roll for damage.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 15 to shoot.
That's a hit.
All right, sweet. And then I just got a 19.
Ooh, nice.
Phew.
Okay. So then Charles is going to shoot at the one closest. No, well, that's a hit. And he rolled a 19, and he rolled a 10.
Oh.
Okay. Now Vlad is going to try and shoot the one that's running away.
How much damage has been dealt to the one running away?
Only the damage that you have dealt.
So 30 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Vlad pulls up his quack shot, fires. A resounding quack echoes through the area, and he misses.
Good.
So currently, the one closest to the party, the one that's actively charging them, is the most damaged, and the one running away is the least damaged.
Okay.
And as far as you're aware, there is still one more.
Yep. All right.
Roll initiative.
Rolling. Oh boy, drop my die.
7.
I hit. I hit 18 total. 15 plus 3.
18.
Yep.
George,
Hmm?
what'd you roll?
Sorry, rolling initiative now. Oh boy, that is a 1. George goes last. George goes last forever.
Jesus. Okay, so top of the round, the Mirelurk that is charging goes first. He is actively going to start charging at the group with Vlad, George, and Nancy. So he is just, claws are out, just snapping away as he's slowly but surely just charging at you. Next up is Vlad. He gets a little panicked by the one charging at him. Raises up his quack shot. Fires and deals. Good. 5 points of damage to the Mirelurk. So he does hit. That's a start.
Didn't hit very hard.
He still hit. Next up is Lucas.
Okay. Is the one that's running away still in sight line for me?
Yeah.
Okay. 17 plus 8.
That's a hit.
Okay, roll damage. Can I make this a called shot? Can I aim for its shell specifically?
Sure.
Okay. The first die is 16 plus 1. The second die is 12 plus 1. So 17 plus 13. It's another 30.
All right.
And marking ammo down.
So as that one is running away, it gets shot in the shell, and it does rip through the shell. You do hear it just start screeching, but it's still running.
Not good.
Next up is the second Mirelurk. You hear a rumbling coming from nearby.
You want me to make an agility save?
It's not so close to you that you need to avoid it, but you do see it pops up to your left.
Okay.
It's a ways away, but it can reach within one charge.
Was that its full turn to get there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next. Oh, is the other Mirelurk. That Mirelurk is going to continue to run this way. After that is Nancy.
Alrighty. So who's the closest Mirelurk?
Currently the one in front of your face.
Alright, that one. He's gonna shoot it.
All right.
That's a 16
That's a hit.
and 17 damage.
Oh boy.
Wow.
All right. So, as you take aim at the Mirelurk that's currently charging at you, you manage to fire and blast one of its tiny arms off.
Ooh.
It starts screeching and looks enraged at you.
Not too bad.
Next up is Charles, who's going to take aim at the one that just popped up to the left. Oh, he missed.
Did he botch?
He didn't botch, but he just missed barely. He got so surprised at the sound of that Mirelurk popping up that he wanted to get a shot off as quick as possible. So as he whipped around, he shot, and it just went slightly wide. Next up is George.
Hooray! George is going to once. Actually, how close is that one that is moving on in on them?
Still within eyesight. Oh, the one that's moving in on them?
Yeah.
You could pretty easily just walk over to him.
George smiles and balls up his hand.
Okay.
George has rolled an 18 for attack. George is using the claws.
That's a hit.
So George rolls 2d20s.
Yep.
The first one is slashing, the second one trick.
And he's going at the front, which is the weak part of a Mirelurk. George has rolled a second 18 for the first damage roll.
All right.
And that's a... Did we talk about what that gets a plus for? I don't think we did.
That's a +2.
Okay, so that was a 20 then for damage on the first roll.
Yeah.
And a 13 for the stun. Wait, does that also get +2?
No.
Okay, so that's just 13.
Alright. So, as you take your Deathclaw electric claws, as it were, you slash forward into the Mirelurk. You do feel that it rips through part of it. The Mirelurk starts screeching wildly and just starts flailing around, snapping everywhere. But it does pull away and manage to stumble back as it looks up at you. It's not looking too hot. It is looking pretty wobbly as it's kind of almost walking back and forth, like trying to hold itself up.
Got it.
Next up is that very same Mirelurk. Oh boy, he is absolutely going to attack you. Nope. The Mirelurk charges forward with his big claw out. Snaps forward, but because of how damaged and how weak it is, it just snaps to the left of your head. And you just hear a very loud snapping sound to your left. Roll a 2.
I wish it was a 1.
Next up is Vlad. He is going to aim for the one that just attacked George. Okay. God damn it. George.
Oh no.
You take 5 points of damage.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Does George hear a loud quack?
He hears a loud quack resounding through the area as he unintentionally is just lurched forward.
Ah!
And he notices a pretty fairly recently new dent in his right arm.
Ooh.
From behind him, you hear up,
George just calls out, "It's fine."
Next up is Lucas.
Right. The yellow one's probably a little... Right?
He is still within sight range, but you would get a disadvantage because you don't have a scope.
John, how far would I be able to move towards it?
You'd be able to get about there. That would remove the disadvantage.
That's what I'm doing.
All right.
15 plus 8.
That's a hit.
Okay. First die is 12. Plus 1 is 13. The second die is another 13. So it's 26.
All right. As that Mirelurk is running away, it is getting very close to wherever it needs to go. You shoot out one of its legs. It falls forward, just again shrieking in agony, but it's still slowly trying to crawl forward.
Lucas is going to call over to the other group as a bonus action and just shout to them, "Have your explosives ready."
George smiles to himself and says nothing.
Vlad instinctively pats his pockets and, under his breath, "I have explosives?"
Oh my god.
Next up is that Mirelurk. Because he is crippled now, he can get about there. He's about one turn away from getting inside. not a fact. He is one turn away. Next
So
up is the
if
other Marler.
If I don't hit it on my next turn, then
I don't know if you. Oh, yeah, you can hit it. Because I was thinking, oh, you couldn't hit it because you're not in its line of sight. But the thing that's holding the square, I guess, dome up is just support beams. So it's not like there are solid walls. So you could see it. You just have to move again.
yeah, it's fine.
Next up is the other Marler. He's going to charge at Lucas. He can get very close, but not close enough. So it's actively trying to distract you. It is screeching, it is snapping at you. It's doing all it can to get your attention.
Yeah, Lucas doesn't give a shit. He has his story.
Next up is Nancy.
Hello. She's gonna fire at the closest one again and try to finish him off, maybe.
Okay.
That is a 16.
Okay. That's a hit.
And 15.
And a 15?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Nancy pulls up her gun, points it at the Mirelurk, fires. A brand new hole just rips through the, what you could guess would be the stomach of the Mirelurk. As it topples to the ground.
Everything alright?
But it's still, like, its arms are moving, and it looks like it's breathing. It looks like it's like a step away from death.
Getting there.
Certainly getting there. Next up is Charles. He's going to one that's going for Lucas. Charles pulls up his gun, aims it at the Mirelurk, and
Lucas is dead.
yes, 100%.
Yep.
So, as Charles pulls the trigger, the bullet impacts into the shell, but it doesn't break through, so it only does 9 points of damage. Great. Next up is George.
Hooray! George is going to finish what he started.
All right. The Mirelurk is currently just bubbling on the ground.
George has rolled a 17.
No sparing it, no befriending it, nothing.
Are we really? You really think George is going to try and befriend a Mirelurk?
That's a solid maybe, with this track record.
I'm going to say George tries to make it a quick death.
All right. So how do you want to kill it?
George is going to embed the claws directly in its face.
Okay. So, George walks over to the Mirelurk that's lying on the ground, embeds the claws into its head, and for a brief moment, you think that it's still alive because its body is twitching, but then you remember, oh, electricity.
Yep.
You pull the claws out, and the body just slumps over dead. So, George and Nancy, that is 4 XP.
Ooh.
Glad doesn't get any because he never hit it.
He tried. You got a name for effort. He hit George.
Well, when George dies, I'll be sure to tell him he gets the XP.
I was about to make that joke. If George ever dies, instead of saying George XP,
I feel like he's be a little more drastic than 5.
I like to imagine it's just 5. Like, it doesn't matter who they were. It's like, no.
All right. Top of the round. Oh, that Mirelurk's dead. Unfortunate.
Oh, it looks so
Yeah,
cute
that
and cuddly.
He'll still rip your arms off.
I mean, George is the one wearing the arms of this creature.
Vlad is going to aim for the one that's trying to go into the door.
Here you go, John. This one's specifically for you.
Oh boy. I'm waiting to be amazed.
Ah. I see.
You see what you don't know. Is that what everyone? That's what everyone else sees James as.
Oh, why?
Oh my god.
Everyone gets startled when they see him, no matter how many times they see it. So, oh, thank Christ. Vlad rolled a natural 20.
Good. It's about
I feel
goddamn time.
That's the first time he's had that.
I think he's had others.
I mean, you
Maybe.
say that.
I
I'm
do
doubtful.
say that.
I'm doubtful. I'm not completely naysaying it, but I am doubtful.
So, Vlad pulls up the quack shot again, aims it at the Mirelurk that's currently trying to get inside. As it takes one claw into the door, its face just gets blasted away as a resounding whack can be heard throughout the area.
Oh, God, why?
Gotta love the quack shot.
I have different words for it.
Vlad and Lucas, 4 XP.
Alright, cool. Ooh, XP!
Oh, my God. On that day, 17 people died.
Hey, John, is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Alright. I'm gonna run, like, here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna take a shot at the one that's been trying to nip at me.
Okay.
12 plus 8. Hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. First die is that's 7 damage for the first shot, and that's 13 damage for the second.
All right. So as you whip around, you point your gun at the Mirelurk, fire. It does seem to wound the creature because it takes a little step back, but overall it doesn't look too damaged.
Yep.
Next up is... That Mirelurk's dead. Here's the other Mirelurk. And that one's going to keep charging at Lucas. Still just out of reach. Next up, Nancy.
Hey. So we only got one left.
There's only one.
She's gonna take a shot at it.
Okie dokie.
18.
That's a hit.
10.
Don't tell
Wish
me
it
too
could have been the
excited.
other way around.
All right. Nancy pulls up her gun, fires at the Mirelurk. It only managed to skim the shell, like the inside part of the shell, but it still does look like it's taken the hit. It does stumble backwards.
Yay!
Next up is Charles, who's going to shoot at it. 19, that's a hit.
Woo.
Ah, good. Another 19. Charles pulls up his gun, looks at where he last shot that Mirelurk, sees the small little indentation into the shell, aims for that exact same spot, and this time the bullet blasts through, and the Mirelurk lurches forward in pain and just starts screeching. Next up is George.
Hooray! Can George get within melee range of any other Mirelurks?
Oh yeah.
George is going to continue the slaughter. George has rolled a 16.
That's the hit.
Hooray! George has rolled a 19 for damage in the first roll.
Alright.
And a 7 for damage in the second.
Okay. So, George, seemingly happy with just killing a Mirelurk, looks over to see Lucas being chased by another Mirelurk, shrugs to himself, gingerly just saunters over to the other one, slashes at it. The claws almost embed into the Mirelurk. It starts screeching and shaking just as the other one did. This time, it backs away and still looks furious at George. Next up is Vlad.
Oh boy.
You know, maybe some confidence? Well,
He made up for his botch and broke even with a gnat.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He hasn't exactly earned favor though.
Vlad pulls up his rifle, aims it at the Mirelurk.
Domes of Lucas.
500 points of damage to Lucas.
But the quack shot only does shut up.
500 points of damage.
He rolled 78 d6s.
It's the hidden function of the quack shot.
Yep.
Standing in between George and Lucas, both of which are actively engaging the Mirelurk, you would think he would miss. Vlad holds up his rifle, takes a deep breath in, looks through the scope, and blasts a hole through the face of the Mirelurk and out the back of the shell.
Good.
The Mirelurk slumps forward and dies.
Good.
Everyone gets 4 XP.
Woo!
Yay! Good job, Vlad.
Exit the P. Right. John.
Yeah.
I'm not going towards the door. Can I carve the claws off of the 2 Mirelurks that are away from the building?
Yes.
All right, cool.
It does take a good minute or so from trying to really just hack it off, but you do manage to get 4 Mirelurk claws.
Nice. Cool.
Anyone else want to do anything?
I'm gonna say George is going to look around for tankers. He's going to actively.
He's going to actively
search for them. Yeah.
Okay. Nancy.
Nancy's gonna pat Vlad on the back and go, "Good job."
Vlad's gonna whirl around at Nancy with a and points his rifle at her.
Whoa, 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 whoa. She takes the barrel of the gun and moves it away.
He kind of steps back and lowers the gun. Oh my god! I didn't mean to. You scared me.
Okay, it's okay. I'm just glad you didn't shoot me.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad too.
Aw, thanks, man.
Kinda glad.
Just a little bit. Somewhere in his brain, all he heard was, "Shoot her."
Oh god. Truffles, no. Don't
George
betray
catches.
me.
George has, like, at the corner of his eye, he swears that he sees Truffles' eye turn, like, bright red for a moment. But he's not quite sure.
Nancy's gonna turn to George. So what now?
Well, we came here for tankers. We should probably find tankers.
Right. Where do you suspect they would be?
Well, George is going to finish looking around the immediate area to see if they're just out in the open.
Yeah.
As far as you can tell, there doesn't appear to be any tankers around. There are several oil barrels that are dotted around the area. Some of them have like huge gashes in them. Some of them seem crushed. But you do find about 5 of them that are still intact.
Well, that's not really what we're looking for. George is going to kind of look toward the big dome and shudder. How much do you want to bet the tankers are in there?
I'm getting him out.
Good point. There aren't really enough barrels out here for us to even make progress, though.
1,000.
I know. That's why I said not enough.
Well, it was going in there for a reason. Let's go meet with death.
George sighs. I wish. And starts heading toward the entrance.
So, who is going towards the entrance right now?
Lucas is.
Okay. George's?
Yep.
I'm gonna take this time to reload my magazine.
Okay.
George will do the same. Oh.
Glad will do a little jog to catch up to George as he reloads.
Nancy will do the same.
Hooray! Nancy's coming with us on the journey to our devs!
Charles looks around at the barrels and shouts as everyone's moving towards the door. Hey, you want me to load these up?
I will say George looks back. Sure.
Yeah, if you want to. I grabbed the claws. That's kind of... I was gonna try and get those coats later.
Oh my god, it is cute. Sorry, the picture.
Charles shouts over to George. Don't die in there!
I make no promises!
Wasn't talking to you!
Lucas looks up. I make no promises.
Dick!
Fuck you. He gives it the double bird.
Nancy turns to Vlad. Young love.
Only one of them is young. Other is very much not young.
Hey, John, I found James.
No.
Oh no. What did you find? Why? Why?
He's got a death claw onesie.
Also, yeah, I see the kawaii Deathclaw now. That is kind of cute. It's George's battle mount. He finds the one kawaii Deathclaw. You and I will do great things. He pats its head and it, like, sort of like coos. Great. And the camera zooms in on George's face, and terrible things.
As it zooms out, George no longer has an arm, and it's in Deathclaw's mouth.
It's just like, damn it, Fluffy! Give me my arm back, and it like pulls its head away, like playfully. It's just like, eh.
Damn it, Butter Nugget, give me back my limb.
We need that for stabbing.
Oh my god. If Truffles ever dies, I really want Nancy to find a way to have a Deathclaw as her kind of companion.
Wow, Marina.
Man, I can't wait for my dog to die so I can replace it with a cooler pet.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if you want that to be arranged.
Listen, I don't actually want that to be arranged. I'm just saying.
Truffles stares deep into Nancy's mind. Traitor.
He was trying to plot to kill her, so,
The next Deathclaw you run into, you're getting ready for a battle, and then all you hear is this neck snap as Truffles walks up behind it and just stares at Nancy.
It has to have been a clearly friendly Deathclaw. Like, hi, my name's Jim.
how did that? And then Truffles just whistles as he prounces away.
Yep.
Oh, you can whistle?
And snap necks. Anyway.
Alright. So,
I have an image for that.
No. Also, I should point out, on the note of Truffles, there is apparently a show on Adult Swim called Mr. Pickles.
Let's not talk about that show.
Okay.
It's a weird show. Let's not talk about
Can
it.
I at least tell Marina the synopsis so she knows why I brought it up?
Yeah, go for it.
There's what appears to be like is what looks like a normal dog. However, it is, so far as I know, is a demonic hell beast that kills anything and everything it desires to kill.
It also actively engages with the with its kid's mother in zoophilia.
Ah, good.
Throughout the show.
Good.
That sounds wonderful.
I didn't know that. Anyway. To death.
alright, so Charles is actively staying behind to load up the barrels. The pilots are helping, but they're not the strongest.
Yeah.
They're the Air Force. They don't usually need to deal with actual action.
I would like to say, once George gets to the entrance, he wants to roll perception to look in, and also just wants to get an idea of how the space is set up.
Okay. After a brief moment of everyone walking towards the building, you can, like, even getting up to the door, you can see that there are already eggs lining what looks to be like the welcome center.
Jeez.
So there are Mirelurk eggs everywhere.
Good.
Nancy turns to George and Lucas. Is there a chance those are gonna hatch, like,
Scramble them
inconveniently?
George is gonna make that perception roll.
Okay. And what are you specifically looking for?
He's looking for a Mylar Queen, or signs of one. And he also just wanted to get an idea of he wanted to get an idea of how the space was set up.
Okay.
That is an at 20.
All right. Let me. Give me one moment.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
All you hear is a snapping sound as Lucas falls to the ground and Truffle stands above his body.
Woof.
What? Woof.
Whoa.
This is the sound the dog makes.
Mm.
This is the sound the dog makes. Now, be gone.
Be gone. I banish you to the Shadow Realm.
No, Pegasus, don't do it.
Anyway.
You guys are weird.
Fucking nerds.
So, the hell did George see? The void?
Absolutely.
George sees everything.
George is everything and nothing.
Yep.
Before
He's
walking
become
into
one
this
with the
room,
universe.
George finds a small decaying die on the ground, rolls it, stares up into space, and his eyes gloss over.
George never talked after that.
We just kind of drag him around everywhere.
He
Yep.
still eats pickles. How? I don't know. Why? I don't know.
And after like 2 years of silence, just one day looks at Nancy, just goes, "You rolled 3 times, knocked someone out, and you failed."
I thought we were over this. We got past this, goddammit.
You're not gonna. Nancy's not gonna comment on the rolled thing.
Oh god. Little does George know. Nancy is aware.
Oh,
Truffles.
I see. By that point, Truffles is taking control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to get worried, John.
Well, as you peer inside, if you would look at the encounter map.
Oh no.
If you would so kindly.
Oh no.
So this large circle in the front
Kindly.
is the visitor, the welcome center,
Mm.
which is just dotted with Mirelurk eggs. From what you can see right now is just a very long, straight, and dark hallway. No real lights or no electricity or anything is getting in. And there are 5 doors. There are 4 doors and one like blasted out hole leading to the very far right room.
Mm. Okay.
So you don't really see any Mirelurk Queen or anything like that. It's an ominous hallway.
Good. Good. Well, this is gonna be fun.
John,
Yeah.
can I ask you to take over Lucas?
You going to bed?
I think I am.
We can end it here before we go in.
Okay, is that fine with you guys?
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with that.
Okay.
All right. Then we will end it here for the night.
Mm,
Yep. Talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.
yeah.
See
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Good
Good
morning.
night, my people.